Everybody, welcome back with the Plapper. Platypus is the name, and let's speed run this video. I just watched the Persona X stream, the 2.3 update stream, and here's what they're adding, all right? This ain't no 10-minute video. We're going to get in, get out. That way I could save you as much time as possible, and you don't have to watch anything else. I am the king. First, I'm just messing. But first, Palace 3 Part 2, and I believe they said 2 floors of Mementos. So you are going to be able to continue the story. We know the palace is 4 parts, so it's going to be like a partial ending to the story, and then there's going to be probably another arc. So it'll probably still end on a cliffhanger of some kind or something like that, but you will be able to get through a large part more of the palace, and there will be 2 floors of Mementos, which are always fun to do. Kira is getting buffs. Skill 2, they said skill 1 is getting a buff, but they showed the wrong text, so I don't know what the buff is, but it seems like it's going to be a damage buff. Skill 2 does 50% more damage. The highlight does 170% more damage. So the skill 2 is now at 250 something percent, and the highlight is now at like 192. I wrote it down, 192%. Huge. Awareness 1 is going to increase the Bleed's Almighty damage by 1.5, so it'll do 1.5% damage. So if you have 10 stacks, it'll be 15% of their health as opposed to 10. And then the 5-star weapon is getting effect accuracy, probably to help him out with that whole fact that he wants to get up to 90%. But those are pretty much his buffs there. There's a couple at the higher awarenesses, but I just like, who cares at that point, right? That's like whale stuff. Bowie Yui is getting a rerun. No difference there as before. They're adding a new weapon for Wonder. The Eye of Obescuscus increases the physical damage and lowers enemy resist. It's built to go with Kira. It sounds like it doesn't increase your physical damage. It increases the physical damage the enemy takes, and it lowers their resist, so you're going to be able to get bleed stacks and do more physical damage. Obviously, it's built for this character because there wasn't really a dagger for him in the game. They added an update to the badge screen. You're going to be able to do it right from your phone now and access it a little bit easier instead of going into a profile subscreen. So if you're into badges, this will be a nice little quality of life change for you. A new NPC in City Life, a new gacha machine, new movies, and new songs in the band club. If that stuff interests you, that's all pretty minor to me. No new social link, it sounds like, unless the new NPC is a social link and they just didn't word it that way. That doesn't sound like it. Unconditional Love Part 2 event. This is going to be very similar to the Part 1 event with only like one minor difference. This is when, the palace came out, 1,280 gems, 7 tickets, all kinds of like, this, that, and the other thing. It's an exact copy of the first part of the event, except instead of getting a 4-star weapon for Wind, we're going to get a new persona, Chu Lane. It looks like it's going to be free to max. You're going to be able to get the persona and then 3 dupes of it to basically get it up to, I don't know if they go up to level 99. It's when it's a rank 7. It might go up to like rank 80, level 85 or something, but it looks specifically made to work with Kira. I didn't see what the passive did, but it has an attack that the more debuff stacks on the enemy. It's a physical damage dealer and increases your crit based off debuff stacks, and I'm sure it has a passive that's going to make bleed or something deal more damage. Not directly, but like it'll have something that makes it work with that. It's clearly all designed to make Wonder have a build that goes with the new Kira unit. They added the 110 banner. Well, as of tomorrow, they're adding the 110 banner. And this seems huge, actually, because it was all the math, all the speculation and how it was a 0.2% 5-star rate. And at a 0.2% 5-star rate running, me and Bear did it, but I talked to him about it. A bunch of simulations, and, we did a podcast with the math, and it basically turned out that it was close, but the 50-50 was better on average for getting the 5-star that you want over a long period of time. Maybe it's like, whatever, after 1,000 or 1,000,000 runs in doing this simulation 100,000 times, then it was the 50-50. But that was all with the 0.2%. 0.4% is double. And so I think there's almost no reason you're ever going to want to do the 50-50 ever again. It doesn't make sense to me why I would do the 50-50, if that makes sense. Maybe, I don't know the complex math. Maybe you're still more likely to get standard banner characters. Like, be honest, if you're going for Minami, If you're pulling for Haru, but you also want to get Marion, because let's hypothetically they added her, you might want to do the 50-50. at that point, because you have a chance of getting 2 characters you want. But I feel like that's what gold tickets are for at that point, you know? So it's probably going to be 110. It sounds objectively better. They said it's not. I think the math works out to where it is. Just to remind you what the 110 banner is, pity goes, instead of 80 like it is now, it goes up to 110. You could pick both of these. You don't need to pick. They're not removing a banner. They're adding a second banner. So it goes from 80 to 110. Instead of being a 50-50, you're guaranteed to get it at 110. So even though you have to do another 30 pulls, you know, to get the guarantee, it is not a 50-50 guarantee. It's a 100% guarantee. The 0.8% to get a 5-star is cut in half to 0.4%, but the 0.4% is already equal to what it is to get the unit you want on the 88 50-50 banner. And then every 165 pulls, regardless, you know, this is like a hard pity tracked separately. You will get a ticket that'll allow you to get a random standard 5-star character. So you're still able to get standard characters as part of this every 165 pulls, which is honestly pretty reasonable. Yeah, it sounds like this is going to be the new objective best way to play, which is fine. Not my favorite, but because I like 50-50s, because I think it's fun for, you know, doing a poll video. But still, this is probably just like, if you're not a gambling addict, this is probably just better to do it. Also, when that 165 ticket you get, it gives you a standard unit. They don't update that ticket. When you get that ticket, it's for the units currently in the standard pool. If they add Marion into the standard pool, your ticket will not include her. When they add her to the unit, the new tickets that generate will be like an updated ticket that will have her in it. So you don't need to hoard these for any reason. You could just spend, and be done with it. But yeah, that's everything they added into this version of the game. It seems like a pretty normal update. Will be a couple days of really good content, and then hopefully there's not some really, really slow summer event before the next one. Hopefully they kind of keep the ball rolling, because this is going to be a really, really fun amount of content to tackle. And overall, everything seems good. It's a little boring, little routine. I mean, the 110 banner is cool, but I'm looking for a new game mode, you know? So hopefully sooner rather than later. But that's all for today, guys. Much love per platypus is per platypus. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.